I've had this recording on my work drive for many years at this point. Went to a beautiful Japanese garden, used these lenses, took some photos. Let's take a look. This is going to be a mix of about the lenses, but also about the type of photography, the ways that I use the lenses. First off, with the 7 Artisans 18mm f6.3, this is fixed aperture, very compact. It's a really nice combination with the M6 Mark II or any small camera. It is APS-C only. It's not going to cover a full frame imaging circle. 6 elements in 4 groups, basically a body cap lens. The main consideration and actually the main downside of this lens is its fixed focus, and it's 0.35 meters or 13.77 inches to get acceptable focus. Limiting, especially with the style of photography I did here. Even so, it's a pretty nice combination just based on size. Looking at the webpage for this lens, they have a few interesting comments in the description. 7 Artisan says it is a widely used in humanities lens and has a biscuit head design, so good to know. Going through the photos of this PhotoWalk, it's a pretty fun lens to use, very simple, very to the point. You only have to adjust shutter speed and ISO with that fixed aperture and fixed focus, not much else to care about. There were quite a few times in this PhotoWalk that I was too close to the intended subject. It looks out of focus, it just destroys the photo. So in all of those situations, really don't use this close up. It's just not going to work out. But you could consider using some type of macro extension tube if you have those available with this lens. The negative obviously would be the aperture is already 6.3. I didn't do that here, but at least it's a consideration. Landscape photos at a distance can work out nicely. I think considering what it is, considering the price, it's decent for those situations. Looks okay. You will get color fringing on the edges especially, but there is a fair amount of detail. And the M6 Mark II is a high resolution camera, so not too bad. I was able to get some unique landscape style photos, positioning myself low to the ground. It works out. It looks pretty interesting. The waterfall photos with this lens, I actually like. A mix of decent framing, captures that subject well. This lens does not handle flare. You can use your hands to block the light in different directions. That will help, or you can just position yourself in certain ways so you can avoid strong light from the sun and such getting into the lens. But when it happens, it doesn't look great. There are some situations you can use it to your advantage, but it's really going to depend. It can quickly go bad. Some of these fish photos turned out really nicely, in my opinion. I like those too, especially. A lot of the photos I did use the EF-M 11 to 22mm lens. The main downside of this lens clearly is the aperture range f4 to 5.6. It does have stabilization, so that's a nice benefit. But in this specific instance, it's just fine. The aperture is not going to be a big consideration for most photography at a bright place like this. Even this limited zoom range does have benefits to the photography. You can capture subjects in different ways with that mix of 11 or 22mm and in between if you want to do that. This lens does handle flare well. I was probably using a lens filter at the time, so don't take these images too seriously, but it looks good here. This lens does excel getting close up to subjects while still having a wide angle look. I think it looks great. I really like that aspect of the lens. I do miss it. There were a lot of nice benefits to it. You can capture a lot while having a somewhat intimate feel to the images. Again, with that nice wide angle, gives a unique look. I really like using the sun with this lens at the edges of the frame usually. That adds a nice look. It has those beams of light coming in. Can get still a good amount of contrast to the images. Works out well. Nice, unique, punchy images. Also works with leaves. Having the light shine through the leaves, at the edges of the leaves, gives you really bright greens, super colorful, and the wide angle definitely helps there too, but you can also use the 22 in those situations. Looking at the waterfall photos, I actually think I like the 7 Artisan lens photos a little bit more in this situation than the ones from the wide angle, but it really depends on how you're positioned, your framing, your focal length, all those considerations. Leading lines can be a fun way to enhance your photos. In this situation with this wide angle lens, definitely helps out, get a lot in the frame. And on this bridge, yeah, that works. You can feature areas that have a uniform appearance to them. I think it looks cool. There's a bit of variety, obviously, but also a uniform look. Overall, a fun photo walk with these two lenses. I think either one would be nice to walk around, take some pictures, whatever you want to do. Enjoy your hobby. Yeah. I don't have any of this equipment anymore. I did really enjoy the M6 Mark II for various reasons. It was pretty good with outputting HDMI at kind of 4K video. Photos were fun. The screen works out decently well. It tilts That's actually a nice combination with this ultra wide angle lens, is being able to position the camera wherever you need to, use the screen for framing. Yeah, fun photo walk. Hope you enjoyed the video. Scott Photography Bonsai, thanks.